So let's go ahead and come to a nice, comfortable seat in your chair. And today, let's go ahead and just be like a little slouchy, kind of, that post-Thanksgiving dinner feeling you had when you just wanted to lounge back into the lazy boy. Maybe take your feet wide and then allow your knees to knock in. And then you could allow your chin to drop towards your chest a little bit. So going for our ugly, ugly little pose here. So kind of just keeping things nice and mellow. Let's have you take a nice deep inhale through your nose. And you're going to open your mouth, sigh the breath out, let it go. Ha. Inhale. Open your mouth, sigh the breath out. Ha. Good. And then you can start to find that inhale through your nose and that exhale through your nose. And maybe the sound's a little more pronounced with your chin resting towards your chest. And it's like you're creating the sound of ocean waves rolling in and out. Your arms can be wherever feels good here. So I've just got mine draping by my side. I'm trying to just pretend that there's somebody gently pressing down on my shoulders. So the shoulders love to creep up around the ears and get really heavy instead. And then just maybe notice like the feeling sense you get when you're kind of sitting sloppy like this. It might feel comfortable. It might actually feel a little like scrunchy, not good. Might make you feel like you want to fall asleep. So from here, just kind of moving nice and slow, maybe kind of working your way up side to side, and it might be helpful to take hands to thighs here. You can kind of rock side to side, maybe bring your feet back to hips distance apart. You peek down, making sure that your knees are over your ankles, your second and third toe are pointing forward, and then root down into your feet, root down into your sit bones, start to lengthen through the sides of your waist. And let's roll the shoulders back a few times. There might be lots of crunches, some extra crunches. Sometimes the holidays can make the shoulders a little extra crunchy. And you can start to roll forward here. And then let's roll back again. And then shoulders release down your back, hands are on your thighs. Allow your eyelids to close here. And right away, drop into that Ujjayi breath. So inhaling through your nose, exhaling through your nose. And maybe just noticing how nice it feels to sit a little taller. It might feel like it requires quite a bit of effort. It does. But you'll feel as though there's more space for the breath to move. It's more expansive. You might feel a little energized, a little uplifted. And just sitting here for a moment or two, soaking up the stillness, listening to that sound of your breath, paying attention to the space that you're creating inside your body, enjoying how that feels. And then let's go ahead and gently blink our eyes open here. So keeping this really nice tall seat, release your arms by your sides. And again, just imagine that there's some little weights tied to your wrists. So it's like those weights are tractioning your arms towards the floor a little bit. And then with those weights, imagine that you're also like in some cement that's about to get really hard. We're going to inhale, move nice and slow. So resist that cement as you stretch out and up. Beautiful. And then as you exhale, hands come down through heart center. Assuming that feels okay, you could always take the arms out wide again. And then again, the arms release. We're just going to do that nice and slow. So smooth, deep, full inhale. Just imagining that you have a little bit of resistance here. So your arms are so active. Yeah, these look great. The muscle is firming to the bone. Exhale, hands come down to heart center. Let's do one more like that. And then we'll try another variation. Stretching up, take up space. See how wide you can get your wingspan. I went to Bar Lake for a really nice walk out here on Wednesday. It was beautiful outside. I have never seen so many eagles in the trees as I did that day all at once. So we're just imagining that we are eagles at Bar Lake. Taking up space. Okay, so this time I want you to reach up. Imagine that somebody is holding onto your wrists. And then start to spin your thumbs to face forward. And now we resist down the other way. So give yourself a little resistance, firm muscle to bone. It's like you're creating this isometric stretch in your body. We find that external rotation at the shoulder. So again, your palms spin to face up towards the ceiling. Inhale. Reaching, seeing how tall you can get. Grow your spine a micromillimeter longer, maybe 2 inches longer. And then start to internally rotate at that shoulder socket. So your thumbs press forward, your palms face out. And then just imagine that, there's something that you're trying to press towards the earth. It's amazingly hard. Good. One more. So palms spin out. Feel that openness, that lift across your heart and chest. Inhale. Resist up. So nice. And you take breaks whenever you need to, because this isn't easy. And it is a holiday or post-holiday afterwards. Spin thumbs forward, palms face out. And then exhale. Release down. This is called earning that leftover pie for dinner. Give everything a little shake out again, a little wiggle out. It might feel really nice to shake out the wrists, the fingers, the hands a little bit here. Good work. And then let's just move into some really basic cat-cow. So you can make any little adjustments that you need to refresh your posture here. So we're looking for feet to be about hips distance apart, knees landing over ankles. And then you can just have your hands resting on your thighs here. Really find the center of your sit bones. So they're like drilling down into your chair. And then as we inhale, we're going to start to rock forward on the sit bones. Going to be a big arch in your lumbar, your lower back, but the elbows are squeezing in, your sternum is lifting. It's like a cobra pose. As we exhale, we move in the opposite direction. So we rock towards the backs of the sit bones. We drop our chin towards our chest. We're stretching into the cervical spine. And we continue like this, moving with the breath, inhaling, arching. Beautiful work. As we exhale, we round in. You're continuing like this. you're flowing with your breath. So we're finding a little vinyasa here. We're finding some rhythm, and our bodies love this. Our brains love this motion. It's very calming. As we connect movement to breath, we start to move into this meditative space in our mind. And that being said, it also feels a little energizing. As we're here for several more rounds, really pay attention to your spine. So these cat-cows are so great for gently opening up the spine. This is like, I'm giving you homework. I want you to do this a little bit every day. Observe how just a little bit of movement really shifts things pretty quickly. It feels good. So from here, on your next inhale, come back to a nice tall seat. And then let's just start to rock around in that pelvic girdle a little bit. So these can be small circles, they can be big circles. There's going to be this play that happens. The weight is going to shift from one sit bone to the other. That might be super subtle. It might be a little more noticeable in your body. As I move in this direction, I'm noticing that I'm feeling more sensation in my lower back, kind of the hips. Perhaps you're getting some of that. Maybe you're feeling this in other places. So they're all good. There's like no wrong answers. We're all built a little different. Every time we show up on our yoga mats, our bodies are feeling different. Let's start to switch directions here. I think this is what keeps our yoga practice really interesting. Always a little different, even though we're doing the same poses over and over again. There's always things that we can focus on, pieces that we can fine tune. Lovely. All right, so let's come back to a nice tall spine. So finding those sit bones pressing evenly, rooting down, lengthening through the sides of your waist. And then let's release our hands down by our sides. Let's inhale, stretch the arms out and up again, maybe moving a little faster this time, so not putting quite that amount of resistance. And then as you exhale, you're going to do your cactus arms. Maybe lean the wrists back a little bit as you direct the elbows forward. Beautiful. Deep inhale. As you exhale, a little twist to the right. Inhale back to center. Exhale, little twist to the left. Inhale back to center. We're going to do one more complete cycle like that, and then we'll hold. So exhaling, twisting to the right. Inhale back to center. And exhale, we twist to the left. Exhale back to center. Good. Twist to the right. Hold here. Maybe extend arms. Take a nice deep inhale. And then as you exhale, you're going to release your hands down. So your right hand will grab a piece of chair behind you. Your left hand, probably starting out, is going to come to the inside of that left thigh. And then you can gently press back. So even though we're twisting the spine here, we're finding a little bit of that feeling of cobra. It's a little bend, a little lift of the thoracic spine up towards the ceiling. Breath smooth and steady. Really try to fill up on your inhale. It's a little tricky when we're twisting our body like this. Let's start to move towards bringing our gaze out over our right shoulder. Notice if your right shoulder is creeping up towards your ear. And then stay in the twist here. But as you exhale, bring your gaze towards your left shoulder. It's probably not going to go all the way there. And then drop your chin. So we're getting this lovely stretch through the right side of the neck. Lovely is relative, right? Sometimes this can feel really intense. If that's where you're at, maybe you back out a little bit. So we're always paying attention to the physical sensations that we're getting, and we're always making little adjustments. And I think the temptation is to always try to do more. I think it's harder to do less, and sometimes I think it's better to do less. So consider that your permission, if that's where you're at. Sometimes we need permission. We're going to inhale, lift the chin. Exhale, go ahead, unwind, come back to center, and then just sort of assess how you're feeling. You might be feeling a little different on this right side. And then let's do that little sequence to the second side. So go ahead and release your arms by your sides. Inhale, take up space. Lovely. As you exhale, make those goalpost cactus arms, and then maybe you're kind of leaning the wrists back, directing the elbows forward. Deep inhale. Exhale, twist left. Inhale, center. Such beautiful work here. As you exhale, twist right. Inhale, center. Exhale, we twist left. Inhale, center. Exhale, we twist right. Inhale, back to center. And then here we go, holding to the left. So exhale, twist to the left. Good, leaning both shoulder heads back. Extend the arms so you're finding that wingspan again. Good, and then here we release, hands down. So that left hand is grabbing a piece of chair. You're dragging that shoulder head back. And then your right hand can press to the inside of that right thigh. You might take the hand to the outside of the left thigh. It just kind of depends on how your spine is feeling. Breath is smooth and steady here. You are slowly moving towards bringing your gaze out towards your left shoulder. And we hold there for a couple of breaths. Put your brain into your sit bones. Is one getting a little lighter than the other? For me, it's that left one. So maybe just shift the weight so you feel really even. And then stay in the twist here. But as you exhale, just bring your gaze forward, maybe out towards that right shoulder. Keep that right shoulder releasing down. And then maybe you tuck your chin a little bit and you're going to feel some sensation in that left side of the neck. So those scalene muscles, they work hard. They're pretty small relative to what they're holding up. So our brains, our skulls. Really lovely. Inhale, lift your chin. And then exhale, unwind. Come back to your Tadasana, your mountain pose. And then you're just noticing how you feel here. So hopefully a little more even. And let's get into the neck a little more. So as you exhale, keep sitting nice and tall, but just drop your chin towards your chest. And let's do that with a little movement here. Inhale, chin comes level to the floor, so you don't have to overlift. Exhale, chin drops towards chest. Just a few times like that. Inhale, lifting. Exhale, chin towards chest, shoulder blades releasing down your back. Couple more. Inhale, lift. And you're just going at your pace if it's different than mine. Exhale, chin drops. Inhale. Good. Exhale, chin drops towards chest. So this time as we're inhaling, maybe you just do what we've been doing, but maybe you go ahead and lift your gaze up. Drop your head back, only if it feels okay. And you go to the extent that it feels okay as you exhale. Beautiful work. You move in the opposite direction. So a few rounds, just continuing what we were doing initially, or allowing the head to drop back any amount if that feels all right in your body. Moving with your breath. On your next inhale, just come back to mountain pose, neutral, so your gaze is ahead, your chin is level to the floor. As we exhale, let's drop our right ear towards our right shoulder. Inhale back to center. Exhale, left ear drops towards left shoulder. Notice if the shoulders are trying to help out. Inhale, center. Exhale. Beautiful work. Inhale back to center. Exhale to the left. Good. Inhale, center. So I want you to just do 2 more complete cycles on your own, moving at your pace. And then when you have done 2 cycles, you're going to go ahead and drop your right ear towards your right shoulder again, but you're going to come into the hold. Good. And then as you're here, maybe you start to tuck your chin a little bit. That's going to change where you're feeling the stretch, the sensation in that left side of your neck. And again, being very mindful here. So if it ever feels like too much, that means that it is, and it means that you back out a little bit, you do a little less. Mindful that what your body feels like today it might be very different from what it felt like last week. If you would like to, release your left fingertips towards the earth. Again, imagining that you have that little weight tied to your wrist. So you're just getting this lovely but intense stretch through that left side of your neck. It's one of those hurts so good kind of a stretches. Let's bring our left hand back to our thigh if you took that variation. Let's bring our right hand to our cheek. And just use the strength of your arm to bring your head back to center. Nice work. Good. And then as we exhale, left ear drops towards the left shoulder. Relax the shoulders down your back. Breath is smooth and steady. You're inhaling through your nose, you're exhaling through your nose. And then perhaps you're tucking your chin. How does this side feel in your how does this side feel in your body as compared to the other side? Just noticing these things, paying attention, not necessarily trying to change anything. And then perhaps you want a little more. So you could release your right hand off your right thigh. And as you know, you can always try these variations, check them out, see how it's feeling today. And if it's not working, you skip it. You just go back one step before, you modify any way that you need to. Got a couple more breaths here. All right, so let's take that right hand back to our right thigh. If you took that variation, we're going to use our left hand to our cheek. Strength of the arm helps you to lift your head. Very nice. Let's move into some of our half sun salutes. So if you do happen to have blocks handy at home, this is a great place to use them. They're completely unnecessary. So if you don't have them or they're not close by, don't worry about that. I'm going to just set them up on either side of my feet. Good. My camera just went blurry there. It'll refocus here in a sec. So again, finding your mountain pose, sitting nice and tall. Arms by your sides. We're going to inhale, stretch the arms out and up. There I am, back in focus. Maybe gaze up, maybe press palms. And then lots of options in regards to how you get down. So you might hinge forward at your waist, swan dive in. You might bring hands through heart center and then to your legs, just to give you a little support and stability. Think chin to chest when you round in. So deep forward fold. As you inhale, this might be where you press into your blocks. This is like another form of cobra pose here. If you don't have blocks, hands might be pressing into shins or thighs. Elbow squeeze in. Yeah, looking good. As you exhale, fold back into that Uttanasana, your deep forward fold. And again, just as we fold it in, as you rise up, a couple ways you can do this. You might kind of get into your core, reverse swan dive up if that is something that feels good and available to you. Otherwise, you're using your hands to help you press on up. And then as you exhale, hands come to heart center. And there's like so many little ways we can modify these. So let's just go through one of those just for fun. So let's release the arms down. And instead of reaching out and up, let's reach forward and up this time. It's just a little different. And then maybe press palms, gaze up. And then exhale, let's pull our hands to heart center. And then release hands to thighs. Roll on in. Inhale, press to shins or thighs or blocks. Chest extends forward. Gaze comes forward. Ooh, these feel so good. As you exhale, you fold back in. And then let's go ahead and inhale. Use our hands to help us roll up. Eventually, let's reach the arms forward and up again. So nice. And then as you exhale, palms come to heart center. Releasing hands by your side. Find that external rotation at the shoulder socket. One more. This time we reach out and up. And then you fold in however feels good in your body right now. So intuiting what you need. Inhale, find your Ardha Uttanasana. Ardha means half, so we are in our half forward fold. Uttanasana is our fold, so we come back in. Inhaling. Feel really anchored into your feet, your sit bones, to rise up whatever way feels good in your body. Maybe pressing palms, gazing up. And one way or another, arms release. And then you can find palms together at heart center. So let's do 3 more of these. I'm not going to cue you. You can follow along with me. Your pace might feel different than what I'm doing today. So I just want you to move with your breath. You can't do these wrong. So you could add or subtract things. If you're not feeling like you want to do 3 of these, you could come back into your cat-cow. But as you are ready, just find whatever movement is speaking to you right now. Sometimes it can feel really nice in these sun salutes to close your eyes. Only do that if you feel really secure and stable in your chair. Sometimes closing the eyes can shift the way we feel the balance in our bodies. Really key into that sound of your breath. It is your soundtrack. It's your metronome. And then as you're flowing here, find this sense of spaciousness, this sense of ease, this sense of grace. In my humble opinion, sun salutes are like the pumpkin pie of yoga. They're like a treat. They're a dessert. They're lovely. They might even be better than pumpkin pie. You don't get that sugar crash after a sun salute. And of course, I guess it just all depends on what you're into. Some of us are more savory, so maybe these are like the stuffing and gravy of yoga. Really lovely work. When you're done with your third round, and there is absolutely no rush to get there, just pause with palms together at heart center, sitting nice and tall in your mountain pose. Allow your eyelids to close and just take stock of what's happening inside your body. My heart's pounding a little faster. I'm feeling a little heat. What's transpiring for you? Just soak up these sensations. Just soak up this feeling that you're experiencing inside your body. And then from here, gently blink your eyes open. Release your hands down to your thighs. Let's get into the hips a little bit. We're going to do a little hip work with a little more twisting. So, and maybe if you have your blocks, go ahead and just kind of keep them slightly forward. We might use those again. We might do a little forward fold here as well. So as always, there's a couple of different options depending upon what's going on in your body, what is accessible for you today, what feels good. So option number one would be to cross your right ankle over your left knee. So of course, some of us have like a lot of knee sensation. If that's you, don't do this variation. If you feel okay here, I encourage you to flex this right foot. That's going to engage the muscles around the knee to help protect that joint. So option two would be to simply find external rotation at this right hip socket. And you can open up a tiny amount. If your hips are a little more open, if that's something that's easier in your body, maybe you're opening up a little more. So if you're in this variation, it's kind of like warrior two legs, you might be taking your right hand to the inside of that right thigh and then gently pressing that leg back behind you. And you actually might find that you don't have to do much of that at all, especially if the hips are a little tighter. For those of us that are in this reclining pigeon situation, again, just being here like this is a really intense stretch for most bodies. If you're a little more open, if it feels like you want a little more, and just using that strength of your right arm to gently press that leg down. And then we're just going to sit here for several breaths. Perhaps you close your eyes. If they're open, you're just keeping your gaze soft and gentle. This hip work can be really, really intense. You might just visualize as you exhale all of that breath going to those areas where you're feeling sensation, where there's a lot going on with the stretch. Visualize your breath just creating space, creating some ease. It's helping you to move into this pose a little deeper, whatever that looks like. And sometimes that doesn't look like anything at all. Just being here kind of in this static way is enough. All right. So let's go ahead wherever you're at again. So legs might be like mine, or you might be in the Warrior II legs. Release your arms by your sides. Feel that openness across your heart and chest. Inhale, take the arms out and up. Beautiful. And then as you exhale, take the arms out wide. So wrists in line with your shoulders. Deep inhale. Exhale, twist to the right. It's going to feel a little different with legs like this. Inhale, back to center. Exhale, twist to the left. Inhale, back to center. Lovely. As you exhale, you're going to twist to the right. Reach, reach, reach. And then release, hands down. So again, this is going to look like a lot of different things. Some of us are going to hold on to the shin. You're in this seated pigeon. Some of us might take that left hand to the outside of that right thigh. If you are in your Warrior II legs, probably going to have your left hand to the inside of that left thigh. That being said, you could take a left hand to the outside of that right thigh. I have monkey arms, so that's kind of not an issue for me. A lot of times, how far we go literally has to do with just how we're built, and we don't have like a lot of control over that. Our anatomy is our anatomy. Our bones are the length that they are. We're all a little different. All right, deep inhale. As we exhale, let's come back to center. Inhale, stretch the arms out again. Shoulder blades, feel them release towards your sit bone and squeeze in towards each other. Exhale, twist to the left. Ooh. And then again, releasing, hands down. So I'm going to just show this variation too and what that might look like. And then stay in the twist, but maybe bring your palms to press at heart center. And then just notice how your torso is at a diagonal over that left hip. Hold on to that. And maybe you hinge forward and you can take that elbow to either that right foot or that left knee. So we have transitioned from an eagle into, we're going to call this our turkey. Maybe you stretch your arms. We're going to call this flying turkey pose. Say gobble, gobble. Jim is like, what? And then from here, we're going to unwind and we're going to just hinge forward. So this is where those blocks might be really nice. Holding forward. If you don't have blocks, hands can come to your thighs. If you are in this seated pigeon pose, hands could just rest on your shins. And this is a deep, deep hip stretch. You're going to be feeling this in that outer right hip, whatever variation that you're in. Send your breath to that area. Maybe allow your chin to drop towards your chest a little bit here. So you're rounding in that thoracic spine, that cervical spine. And then we're going to inhale. Use your hands to help you press up. Keep your spine nice and long. Beautiful work. Okay. We got to even out these turkeys. We got to make it do that turkey pose on the second side. So find your Tadasana, your mountain pose first. Thanks for playing with me, y'all. All right. Side to side, things could look really different. So you fill it out here. Maybe you're coming into this seated pigeon pose. Again, if there is sensation in your knee, skip this and simply find some version of Warrior II. It does not matter how much you open up this leg. The one thing that we are looking for is for this knee to be over the ankle. And then we're just going to take several breaths here in this basic pose. If you want a little more, and you're in these warrior two legs, you can press that left hand into your thigh. So it's like you're dragging that knee to the wall behind you. Conversely, if you're in the seated version, you're pressing down. So releasing that knee towards the floor. Sitting nice and tall. Contemplating your left hip and how it feels. Breathing smooth and steady. Good, and then let's just release those arms down. Inhale, take them out and up. Lovely, and then as you exhale, take the arms out wide. Nice deep inhale. Exhale, twist to the left. Inhale back to center. Exhale, twist to the right. Inhale back to center. And then we exhale, twist to the left, stretch out. And then go ahead and release your hands down. So wherever feels good. This side, the twist might feel different in your body. So you do more or less, kind of, you gauge that. You're using that right hand, leveraging against one leg or the other to help you find that. Try to really fill up on the inhale. Can you breathe into that left side of your waist on the inhale? And then as you empty out, can you wrap those right ribs towards the left a little more? Perhaps you are bringing your gaze out over that left shoulder. Deep inhale. As you exhale, you unwind. Inhale, take the arms out wide again. Exhale. We twist to the right. And then again, release. Hands down, couple of breaths here. Your shoulder heads are pressing back. You're going to get sensation in different places in your body. You're channeling your inner turkey. You know where we might be going. Stay in the twist, but bring palms towards heart center. You might just stay here like this. You might hinge forward a little bit. So resting that left elbow to your right thigh. And if you're in that warrior two version, it might just be on your left thigh. That works too. Maybe you're spreading your turkey wings and saying gobble, gobble. So nice. I love the smiles. As you exhale, you unwind. You gently land your turkey. You fold on in, releasing your chin towards your chest. Finding that sense of smooth, steady breath again if you lost that. Good. And then as you inhale, roll on up. So nice. Come back to your Tadasana, your mountain pose. So finding a nice tall seat. Let's do a little breath work here before we move in towards into our Shavasana. We're going to do our 3-part breath, our Viloma I breath. So as you know, we're going to be inhaling in 3 different parts. We're going to hold a little bit after each sip in, and then we'll exhale the air out through our nose. So this Viloma breath, anytime you're doing the retentions on the inhale, it has this really lovely energizing quality. So this is a really good breath that you could practice if you're like needing a little pick me up. We're all practicing at 4 p.m. Mountain Time today. So for a lot of us, this can be like a little bit of a time during the day when we get a little slump. So just doing a few rounds of this breath at home might help you to feel a little energized when that's starting to happen. And it's, a little less aggressive, I guess, than grabbing a cup of coffee at this time of day. Unless you have the gene that processes the caffeine and then just like go for it. But anyway, we're going to move into our Viloma I breath. So finding your nice tall seat. Take a nice deep inhale through your nose. Full complete exhale through your nose. Empty out. A little pause at the bottom. Inhale up to your belly button. Hold the breath. Try to keep your shoulders heavy so they love to creep up towards the ear. Breathe up to your floating ribs, so another third of the way. Hold. Little pause. Inhale all the way up underneath your collarbone. So feel that openness, that expansiveness, that lift of your sternum. Pausing. And then exhale the air out through your nose. Empty out. Take a couple rounds of recovery breath. So just inhaling and exhaling through your nose. And then just maybe, assess how that went. And there is like no right way. Some days this breath feels really easy. Some days it can be so challenging. If ever you feel like you need to breathe during those retentions, by all means breathe. If your pace needs to be a little different than mine, go with that. So on your next exhale, completely empty out. A little pause at the bottom. You might even feel your lower belly pull in and up. It's like that feeling the day after Thanksgiving, which is today, when you're like trying to get those jeans on and they're a little tighter. You got to suck it in a little bit. Inhale 1/3 of the way up. Pause. Inhale another third of the way up. Pause the breath. Inhale all the way up underneath your collarbones. And slowly exhale the air out through your nose. Couple rounds of normal, even, steady breathing. And let's do one more round together. So smooth, deep, full inhale through your nose. Full, complete exhale through your nose. Little pause at the bottom, hold the breath. Keep the tension out of your shoulders, your face, your jaw. Inhale 1/3 of the way up. Inhale another third of the way up. Inhale all the way up underneath your collarbones. Slowly exhale the air out through your nose. And then inhale through your nose. This time, open your mouth, sigh the breath out, let it go. Ha. And from here, we move towards our Shavasana. So some form of final resting pose. You might stay exactly as you are. You just sort of change the tone in your mind a little bit. So it feels a little easier. It feels more like a surrender. If it's easier for you to capture that feeling, you might lean back in your chair. So kind of almost like a constructive rest pose. You could just imagine that you're laying down on the ground. You also might come into a little bit of a forward fold here. This is particularly nice if you have a table or a desk in front of you, a chair. You can make a little pillow with your hands. So finding like a supported child's pose. You're always welcome to come into a classic Shavasana, so laying down on the floor if it's easy for you to get there, if that's something that's available to you. It doesn't really matter what shape you're in. The important thing is that you are letting go, kind of slowing everything down. We're just putting this bookend at the end of our class as we transition into the rest of the day. And we're giving our bodies, our brains, an opportunity to assimilate all of this good work that we've done, kind of make sense of it, incorporate it. So be here, soak up these final quiet moments. Shavasana. Asatoma satgamaya. Tamasoma jyotirgamaya. Mrityoma mritam gamaya. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Let your next inhale be deeper. You can open your mouth, sigh the breath out, ha. And then just start to bring some gentle movement back to your body, whatever feels good to you. So circling ankles, wrists, stretching out. Just kind of noticing how you're feeling here. And you will eventually just land with your hands in a pile on top of your heart. So sending yourself, your body, love and gratitude for showing up, for making the effort, for working hard. It's not always easy, but it does make a difference. Feeling love and gratitude for this community that we've created together, for the opportunity to practice yoga with each other, to support each other. Finally, just promise yourself you're going to carry this good feeling with you into the rest of the day, the weekend ahead. Finally, just bow your head with a smile. Beautiful work. Thank you, my lovely flying turkeys.